The Movember Institute of Men's Health is pledging $52.7 million for Indigenous well-being. It's the latest move by Movember that for more than a decade has been working to bolster the well-being of Indigenous men around the world. It's one of the topics of our panel this week. As well, Neegon Sinclair and Pam Palmater were also here on Thursday to discuss another big news item, memes of Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew. Neegon, Pam, thanks so much for being with us here this week. Neegon, we'll start with you. I believe you were at this Movember announcement. What can you tell us about the support that Movember has been providing for Indigenous men's health over really more than a decade here now?
Yeah, full disclosure, I spoke at the event because the organizer, Sonia Previs-Depaker, who is the global Indigenous wellness coordinator, she asked me to say a few words at the event. It was very highly attended by Manitoba attendees, and we're talking $18 million from the fundraising internationally. I mean, Movember raises hundreds of millions of dollars internationally for the mustache campaign. Everyone sort of knows that very famous campaign, and they're going to use $18 million to invest in supporting Indigenous men's programs in the country. Of course, we all know that Indigenous men oftentimes are the undiagnosed challenge or undiagnosed issue in Indigenous communities, for the most part because we often don't think of it as an issue itself. We think of it as Indigenous men up to no good, or perhaps doing problem or getting involved in problems and so on. But the fact is that Indigenous men have been traumatized by colonization as much, if not more so, than most of our communities because of longstanding policies and practices that have demonized and othered and created this illusion, this stereotype that Indigenous men are problems in society, and so therefore police act that way, health system acts that way, the government acts that way. And so this is going to deal with that issue. Communities can apply starting May 31st for portions of that funding to run projects that support Indigenous men to live healthy ways and proactive ways for health, not reactive ways. That means like groups talking, pancake breakfasts with your kids, all those kinds of things. And then mostly in prison programs as well. So we heard some really amazing stories that day.
And Neegon, we can see you're already working on your Movember stash there. Pam, do we talk enough, though, really, about men's mental health or put money towards it?
I don't think we do. I mean, aside from the fact that Neegon will probably never have a mustache, I mean, the bigger issues around men's health, men's support, there are so many times where men, our sons and our nephews and our brothers who are like, where's all the support? There's got to be more for Indigenous men, because when you look at it, they're the ones that are disproportionately killed by police. They're the ones who are overcrowding prisons. They're the ones in youth corrections. And in the prairie provinces, that's particularly bad. And if we wait until the federal government provides enough programs, or the province does, we'll be in trouble. So programs like Movember, this kind of worldwide initiative, is going to be good, I think. And the fact that they're donating this money or contributing this money for these programs, I think it's going to make a huge difference. And as a mom with two boys who also can't grow mustaches, I'm very, very thankful that if they ever need it, those kinds of programs will be there, because that can be the difference between life and death for our boys, or other problems within our family, because we know they're set in the context of our families and our communities. So I'm really happy to hear about this.
Yeah, good work being done over there by Movember. Neegon, of course, the other huge news this week was a picture of Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew changing a tire, but also the many memes that have followed. What's your take on this all?
So the story is that Wab Kinew was in a community gathering. One of his relatives popped a tire, had a flat, and he offered in his suit, the same suit that he does press announcements, goes out there and greets and runs for office. The same suit, there he was fixing a tire on a dirt road in what looked like a First Nation, I think. And so this has exploded into a massive series of memes. And it kind of reminds me a lot of the mermaid movement or the merman movement just a short while ago, that communities kind of competing with each other. People have been taking the Wob Canoe image of him fixing a tire and abusing it in all these different contexts, making Indian tacos, delivering children, helping put up beadwork or art, and it's become a really funny thing. And there was a few things of people going, hey, this might be inappropriate to sort of use his image and put it out of context and so on. But I can tell you that from the Canoe family, they really find this whole thing very funny. And they also sort of indicate that fellow panelist Jennifer, who tweeted out actually something really interesting this morning, saying that it's interesting that I think it indicates this kind of public appeal, and that he's become a kind of figure in Manitoba and across the country that is very engaging. And so I think people are both having a lot of fun, but they're also indicating, I think, a real appreciation for the fact that he's balancing a government at the same time as changing a tire.
Yeah, we spoke with the Premier yesterday about it all, and he was having a good laugh as well. Pam, typically memes of politicians aren't so lighthearted. What do you think of what's played out here?
Well, I love that he's taking it in good humor, which is such a dramatic contrast between the non-Indigenous political world where everything is so serious and everything is some kind of slight. I love that we can do that. And as Indigenous peoples, we've done that for so many things, not just the merman, but think about Grogu, on the Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. Here he was, this lost little Grogu, looked like Baby Yoda, and we all took him in. We all put him in bassinets and dressed him up in native clothing. And I just think that this just goes to show how much we love our culture and we love our people, because we know other politicians would be threatening to sue or slander or whatever else. And I just think of the contrast between, do you remember Mike Pence, who got the fly on his head, and he was so upset about that happening, and there was a bazillion memes about different things on his head, including Bernie Sanders wearing mittens, and we all thought it was funny, but he didn't think it was so funny. And that's what I love about Manitoba's Premier. He's like, this is all good fun, this is what we do. And I'm sure he's made memes about people before. I can't wait to see all the memes about Negon. This is going to be fantastic.
With a mustache.
With the mustache, for sure.
Painted on.
Pam, Negon, we'll have to leave it there. Pam, thanks so much for helping us out this week. Appreciate you both.
Yeah,
Thank you.